Welcome everybody to the Nerd Jam Podcast, your one-stop source for all things nerd culture, video games, anime, comics, you name it, we got it. I'm here alongside my partner in crime, Rich. Say hi, Rich.
Hey, what's going on, guys? We're definitely trying something a little new
We
today.
tried a different setup. Instead, Rich came across the hall, and we're in the same room this time. It's been a little bit since we've been in front of the camera for the Nerd Jam Podcast. We took a little bit of a vacation. We went down to Key West, Florida. Just had a nice little R&R weekend, and
Celebrated your birthday a little bit.
birthday
Happy
was
Mike.
thank you. Birthday was May 11th. So yeah, we took a little bit of a break, but we're back. And
That means we have a lot to talk about.
we stockpiled quite the
Some of the things we were catching up on, some of the things that were happening in over the last couple weeks, and let's get right into the most recent thing, I guess. Last night, Mike and I finally got the chance to sit down and watch Mugen Train, Demon Slayer. And it was everything I hoped it would be.
set your heart ablaze.
Yeah, it was everything I hoped it would be. From the action, the backstories, the way that you kind of see where the characters want to, like, what their reasons are for fighting,
Okay.
or what they most desire, I guess. Which, I mean, for some of them we know what that was already.
Before we go a little deeper, this is your official Nerd Jam Podcast. Spoiler warning brought to you by Bakugo calling you a nerd.
You damn nerd!
Yeah, so anyone who hasn't gotten the chance to see Mugen Train just yet, definitely worth the watch. It is a continuation of Season 1. It's the bridge arc between Season 1 and Season 2. And Demon Slayer just continues to showcase just how gorgeous an anime can possibly be.
I want to touch on that real quick.
The animation?
Before we get into what we liked, what we disliked, whatever it may be, I found it interesting over the course of the last, as Mugen Train was being mentioned, and then when it finally released, a lot of people were saying Demon Slayer was overrated.
Memes aside of it's been carried by the animation and whatnot, and you can have your opinion on Demon Slayer if you so please, but you gotta tip a cap to just how well the fight scenes and animation in general in that in Demon Slayer
whether you think Demon Slayer is a 6 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, the animation, whether you think the animation carries it or the story is just as good, it's a sight to behold either way.
Yeah.
I definitely think that the best thing that Demon Slayer has done, whether we want to talk about what our opinions are on how good it is help bring anime even more mainstream to the West than it has become over the last couple of years. And I think that's a really great thing. Being released in theaters, having such a high rating, breaking records for non-Western culture movies.
It beat out Mortal Kombat on release day, didn't it?
I believe week 1, Mortal Kombat won by like less than $500,000, but week 2, Mugen Train overtook Mortal Kombat. So as a continuous watch, basically, whether it was watching it more than once, just in ticket sales in general, Mugen Train ended up actually surpassing Mortal Kombat. So just because of the initial was really good, but Mugen Train lasted longer in theaters in terms of ticket sales anyway. So, and then I believe right after it did so well, was it Jujutsu Kaisen that announced a movie potentially? And I think there was another one, another anime that announced that they were going to make a movie as
Black
well.
Clover.
Black Clover, yeah. And I believe both of them are
immediately right after we're getting a Jujutsu Kaisen movie, which we're going to touch on Jujutsu Kaisen a little later. But we're also getting a Black Clover movie too,
which is awesome. And the fact that it could be in theaters, I've seen Black Clover. Mike is
working my way.
Probably about a month out from starting Black Clover because there's just a lot of other anime he's in the middle of right now. But I'm gonna rewatch that with him and get his reactions and all of that. But yeah, no, Black Clover in theaters is gonna be another sight to behold, similar to Demon Slayer in my opinion. The way the action sequences go in that show is just unreal.
But animation and majestic aesthetics aside, the movie itself was based on the Mugen Train arc, obviously in the manga, and you saw a lot deeper character development for Tanjiro, and pretty much like the burden that he's laid upon himself with his family, and you saw that within like the dream sequences. Um, we got introduced to we got a deeper look into Senjuro Rengoku, the Flame Hashira, and you saw just how strong the Hashira are, but you also saw how undeniably strong the top ranked demons are, and honestly, the movie itself, emotional roller coaster, highs, lows, obviously moments where we laughed. There were a couple cringe moments, in my opinion.
Always, I feel like that's. I don't actually. What would you consider a cringe moment? Because I'm thinking of a specific.
Anything with Zenitsu awake.
Okay.
Zenitsu being awake. There were a couple Inosuke moments where I was kind of cringe.
Okay.
But
I found it interesting that because in the show, compared to the movie, I didn't see many of the how do I want to call it? Their pop outs almost. If you were to take it in a manga standpoint or a reading standpoint, where he did it twice. Tanjiro looked at Rengoku, and it was that.
Why are you so big?
Yeah, those type of pop out things I feel like are more movie oriented as opposed to TV show oriented, which I found I liked seeing that contrast, but didn't think it was completely necessary.
Yeah. For the casual, quote unquote, Western anime fan, I felt like the movie could have done a little bit better of a job introducing what Demon Slayer actually was. They kind of as they picked right off from where season 1 ended.
Right.
But for those who like went to the movies and wanted to just and was like, oh, this Demon Slayer thing looked kind of cool, they didn't really touch on any introductory pieces of Tanjiro, Zenitsu, Inosuke,
right.
The Demon Slayer Corps. They didn't touch on any of that, which, all well and good, it was more so for the people who actually watched season 1.
I believe that I read somewhere, I don't know if it was confirmed by whether it was the writers or the producers or anything like that, to watch season 1 if you want to go see this movie, because this wasn't an introductory movie. It was a canon movie that continued the story from season 1. If it was a non-canon movie that had to do with something completely different that didn't follow the storyline, then yes, I would expect that. I mean, it was still a 2-hour-long movie, just canon.
Yeah.
So to include those types of introductions for someone who may not have seen the TV show already.
Will we get the Funimation cut, the 7-hour-long Demon Slayer Mugen Train? It's definitely it's fair, but I'm thinking also in the fact that hey, there could be an instance where someone who's only watched Dragon Ball, say have a buddy who's like us and be like, yo, you gotta go see the Demon Slayer movie.
Right.
Not know just hop into the movie theater and be like, yo, who are these people? What's the point? Oh, cool, flashy swords and shit.
I think it did a good enough job though, like for someone who let's say we went to the movie theaters, I've never watched Demon Slayer. I think after watching the movie, it did enough to get me to go back and watch the first season to understand certain things that I may not have understood originally.
That's a good take. That's
because
not a bad take.
They mention the Hashira. They mention all of these things that happened previously. They make a brief mention to the higher number demons and how Enmu was trying to become a numbered demon.
Yes.
So he was low. He was a lower one, which is there's the lower and the upper, I believe, is what they're actually called. He was lower one, which means he was the highest lower number demon under the main demon guy. I'm blanking on his name. Right now. Yeah.
TikTok pinned to Michael Jackson. Um,
But so he's trying to work his way up the ranks basically, and then you see Akaza, the number 3 upper demon, show up, and then you get this idea of like, well, what is there more to it? What is all of this? Like, there has to be more.
mhm.
And that's where it pulled me in enough that if I had never seen season 1, I would go back and watch season 1 and then be ready for season
Fair.
2.
On the topic of Akaza,
Mm-hmm.
that fight scene,
Yeah.
Akaza Rengoku,
Mm-hmm.
holy shit!
Yeah.
You
You got to see the true power of both sides.
get to see the true power of Hashira, which we haven't seen, which we didn't get to see in Demon Slayer season 1 just yet, and you finally got to see the true power of Hashira, and you got to see the true power of Rengoku,
Mm-hmm.
which, although short-lived,
We already gave our spoilers, right?
yeah, I gave our not sponsored spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It was aesthetically one of the most enjoyable fight scenes to watch. Although the movie pinned, like, I'm trying to put together like my whole analysis of the fight itself.
Mm-hmm.
The whole objective was Akaza showing up, noticing that Rengoku was
Ahashira.
a Hashira, super strong, become a demon. No one's ever actually said, yes, I'll become a demon. And then you got this...
There was a hint. There was a hint of me going, you actually mentioned that? Is he going to? And I was like, oh no. Because they showed how strong Rengoku, it would have been something else. But Kabutsuji. That's the main demon's name. And that's the leader of the upper 12, or
He's the king of demons, essentially.
basically the first demon, and everyone spawns from him basically.
Yeah.
And I mean, if nobody has seen Demon Slayer and you're listening to us talk about it right now and it sounds cool to you, go watch it.
I recommend Demon Slayer. Obviously, if you go on social media, you go on Reddit, you go on TikTok, you'll hear opinions, and you'll hear people talk about, oh, it's the animation carried it, the story's blah. Do it for yourself, take it for yourself, watch it, and then formulate your own opinion.
Those opinions I feel like are very based on trying to get a rise. Just because in overall ratings and stuff, I think it's an 8.5 on my anime list, which is people who watch anime. So it's still a highly ranked anime. It's not like it's a 6, but the animation carries. Like, the story is good, the emotion, the characters, the development of it is good. And obviously, my opinion doesn't really matter. But if you want to go watch it, go watch it.
My only question about Demon Slayer as a whole is, when is Zenitsu gonna turn out to be badass, without having to go into a coma? I love everything about Zenitsu when he's unconscious. When he's awake, I literally want to turn the show off.
Nezuko-chan.
We get it. I get it. He's a Symphonezico, which is fine. Everyone is.
It's great.
But can we get a blend of Inosuke and Zenitsu as a character? I guess Tanjiro is your happy medium between the two.
Yeah.
But I love Zenitsu when he's unconscious. Mm-hmm. And that scene when
he shoots through 6 train
when
cars.
Enmu captured Nezuko in the train, and I called it. I said, "Who's still sleeping?"
Yep.
And you were like, "What do you mean?" And you just saw
a bolt of lightning.
And you just see his eyes are closed, and you just see you hear this deep, powerful Super Saiyan level voice, thunder breathing. And then all of a sudden, Nezuko-chan! When he's awake, no thanks. I hate it. When he's asleep, I want every bit of Zenitsu. Can we get an arc where Zenitsu is just like asleep the entire time?
The entire time. Just a full-on like rescue arc of Zenitsu being asleep.
He rescues Tanjiro and Nezuko get captured, and he's asleep the entire time he rescues them.
He wakes up and wonders what happened. And there's just demons everywhere.
and he does that like scream like ah!
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be
my opinions aside. All in all, great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rich said, it's definitely taking the steps to further the popularity of anime in the West. Anime's popular in general. It's been honestly, it's become incredibly mainstream.
I was gonna say that's the word.
It's
not necessarily
furthered,
popular.
It's
mainstream.
furthered anime as a whole to mainstream levels. Yes, the Western fan base has Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, everyone like and all Dragon Ball, all of that. But like stuff like Demon Slayer, stuff like My Hero Academia, they're really pushing forward the mainstream level of anime for just people who've never watched it or watched very minimal type stuff.
I think the most difficult thing for anime in the West, and the reason that Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia are pushing that envelope to get it more popular and more mainstream in the West, is some of the newer names. And I'm just going to touch on it briefly. But one of my top animes right now that are still ongoing is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. And I only mention it not just because I enjoy it, but the name itself. It's these long drawn out. It's not Naruto, One Piece, Bleach.
Also, we have to think that like in Japanese, these names are incredibly short.
Not necessarily. They're not as short.
Not as short, but they're shorter.
But the translation is still along the same lines. So I mean, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime is, in a sense, basically about someone who dies, and it happens in the first episode. This isn't a spoiler.
I mean, it says that time I got reincarnated.
They die in their world, and they get reincarnated in a different world. It's an isekai as a slime. Like that's literally.
I'm not gonna lie. When you said you were first watching this, I said, "There's no chance in hell I'm watching this." I'm watching this.
Actually,
now I kind of.
It's actually one of the top rated ones.
Yeah, like, I know. I kind of want to. I kind of want to give it a shot when I clear through my list a little bit.
Part 2 of season 2 is out in summer 2021, July 2021 season. So once part 2 comes out, I'm gonna catch up. I don't necessarily like going episode by episode unless it's some of the bigger ones that everyone's watching about, because then I'll get spoilers if I don't.
Yeah.
But the ones that are not as mainstream right now, I like to wait till the full season's out so I can kind of just binge it and get through it.
That's fair. Well, speaking of animes that are climbing the mainstream ranks, an anime that is quickly, and I mean quickly, climbed my ranks is Jujutsu Kaisen. Holy shit. Rich and I binged season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen in a week and a half. Mm-hmm. We work. We work. We have baseball. I stream. I try to make TikTok content. So we didn't sit down and binge the whole thing immediately. So forgive us, senpais. Jujutsu Kaisen season 1. This is raw. This is we finished it yesterday. We finished season 1 yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into it, because I saw a TikTok on it and I have to mention it. I just looked it up real quick just to make sure I got it right. I just talked about translations and how they're a little less mainstream. Jujutsu Kaisen is one of those that isn't actually translated into English compared to all the other ones, and it's mainstream in its Japanese form. But the funniest part is that when it is translated to English, it literally just means sorcery fight. I think there were a couple podcasts that touched on that we listened to. That's like, oh, Jujutsu Kaisen, do you know what it is? And I think they were talking about the same topic. We were like, that time I got reincarnated or something. Or is it cool to flirt with girls in the dungeon or some shit like that? That's one of our buddies said we have to. Is it cool to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Yes, there it is. I was close. Close enough about girls in the dungeon. But you have those, and then you have Jujutsu Kaisen. Mm-hmm. Where, do you really want to call it sorcery fight, or do you want to call Jujutsu Kaisen, which sounds more badass?
Exactly.
But, season 1, I'm gonna put this blanket statement now. Now, get it over with. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, or you want to fight me. That's fine. I have never seen an anime in my life adapt such an OP fucking character as quickly and as efficiently as Satoru Gojo. There is no one that they turned around. I haven't seen an anime that has made like a character have that much flair and personality. And oh, by the way, I'll kill you in like
because
that.
I can. I think they did a really good job. I'm not gonna spoil too much here. There was one of the later episodes, the last like 3 episodes. There was a certain fight going on, and to your point, in terms of adapting such a powerful character that literally could just end anything in an instant, basically, is the idea of there was a barrier basically put up. And it wasn't a barrier to keep out powerful people or the enemies. It was literally a Gojo barrier.
It was just for Satoru Gojo.
It was a Gojo barrier, and they mentioned it being a Gojo barrier. Anybody else could pass through except him, and it eliminated him from the fight, or took him out of the fight for long enough to see the other characters grow and engage in this battle. Before,
I have never met a character more OP than him. As of right now,
you haven't seen
Demon King Academy. I haven't seen him yet.
Demon King Academy is, but Demon King Academy does it in a way that works also. But
I'll add this: not only is he so incredibly overpowered, he's a fucking goofball.
Oh yeah,
he's down, which is why I'm sure he's probably so loved in the anime community.
Without spoilers. They mention it like Gojo is the teacher of these first years, right? Mm-hmm. But Gojo's only a third year. He's not technically a teacher. He is so powerful that he is still technically a student.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone on both sides fear his power.
Yeah.
Or respect, depending on how you want to look at it.
Speaking of sensei, he's basically the Kakashi.
Oh, I was gonna show it when we went to your Naruto journey in a little bit. But,
yeah. But he's essentially the Kakashi mm-hmm. of JJK, and
he's Super Saiyan 4 Kakashi. In all honesty,
he has the power of infinity,
which is by far in any anime I've ever watched.
You're a nerd with that.
Favorite power. The idea of using infinity as a way to both block and attack and defend. Because infinity is essentially infinite. It's the idea that you have so in basic numbers, 0 and 1,
mm-hmm.
but there's an infinite number of numbers in between 0 and 1. Like, it just continues on and on and on, and gets smaller and smaller. Like, that's just so cool.
All in all, love the development of each and every one of the characters of JJK. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge Yuji fan. I think Yuji Itadori is your basic MC, mm-hmm. loud, obnoxious, passionate, works hard. I
wouldn't call him obnoxious, really.
A little obnoxious. He's a little obnoxious around his friends. Mm. But I like the different twist that JJK has turned around and produced with us with these ideas of cursed spirits, which honestly, you know what, now that I think about it, it's done a really good job in combining some of my favorite animes. It's combined Yu Yu Hakusho with Yusuke Urameshi was the detective of the spirit world, and he was fighting off bad spirits, but you have these cursed spirits, which are basically like demons and whatnot. You combine Demon Slayer. You have some Demon Slayer aspects. You have a lot, and it's
about the second year students.
It's meshed well. This anime again. It's the same way that I feel about My Hero Academia and Naruto. It's done a good job of making me really care about not just Yuji Itadori, not just about Satoru Gojo. It's made me care about Panda
Megami.
and Megami and Nobara and
Oh, Maki's story with her sister. That's cool going on.
it's made me want to invest in these different avenues. Some animes are very linear with just what's going on, and other animes have these opportunities to branch out with other characters, and Jujutsu Kaisen has done a great job of that, and it's something it's a reason why I want to keep going back and back and back and back. We found out about Megami's sister, who is technically in a coma now because of a curse in his hometown that was released
right
when Yuji ate Sukuna's first finger. Everything was branched off the second Yuji released Sukuna's spirit.
Yes.
So we found that out in the last episode that Yuji Itadori, I mean, essentially, unintentionally started all this shit. And I'm sure he's going to find out that him ingesting Sukuna's finger, Sukuna, for those who don't know, is known as the King of Curses. And actually, when you think about it, another insanely freaking OP character.
We haven't gotten to see the full.
We haven't gotten to see.
Of Sukuna.
We haven't seen Sukuna in a couple episodes, to be honest with you. He's kind of just like, nah, I'm not about you. No, I'm not about
Sukuna,
you. No more.
we've seen Sukuna, but we haven't seen Sukuna outside of Itadori's body.
Yeah.
In the last 5 or 6 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
and that's even scarier because Sukuna did things in those episodes without even being there, basically, which I thought was really, really cool. Still want to find out about the unregistered special grades and how those are going to tie in and who they're actually working for and what that's all about. There's so much to divulge and pick up on, and I'm gonna probably end up rewatching it before the next the movie. I think is next.
Yeah, I don't know if the movie's canon or not.
I hope so. I love the idea of having a movie to be canon in between seasons and stuff to kind of give you some. In my opinion, if the same companies are working on it, I feel like it's easier to make a movie animated than it is to go week by week on the episodes, where it might give them more time to actually work on the episodes, because the movie could come out and then you could have like a 2-month break or a 3-month break or a full season break before having to release the next season, so it gives them a little more time to animate it and
fair, but I mean, obviously those cost a lot of money.
Yeah. But how much are they making? Look how much Demon Slayer just made.
Well, it also depends on the popularity of the franchise. I'm really invested in JJK, and I'm very happy that again, this is another reason why I'm happy that anime is making it into the mainstream. We're able to get stuff like this because honestly, with how well this is going to take off, with how well anime in general has taken off lately, you can only assume that these companies are going to be able to produce more and more and more and more and more and more.
You'd hope.
You'd hope.
And obviously, take out the fact of the last year and a half with COVID and everything, and how that's kind of slowed production down.
Knock on wood
that's gone soon, and we'll go from there. But I hope that with the success that anime has had, even in a darker time, when things go back to being more normal, that's where the real question will come in, because people have the opportunities to do other things and be out and do things. Is anime going to fall back off, or is it going to continue to pick up?
I'm not going to lie. COVID has done a lot of fucked up things to everyone's daily life and everyone's like long-term goals and whatnot. One thing COVID did right was allow people to invest themselves into anime.
Not even just anime, into things that they wanted to do that they necessarily couldn't or didn't have the time for. I work from home. You've been working from home. It's given us an opportunity to not have to worry about commutes and things like that, where we have more time on our hands to do things that we want to try or enjoy and things like that.
Yeah.
And it got me into anime in general. It got you back into anime.
I was like a one-trick pony with anime. I was Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho. I think Inuyasha, which I have a very weird and fucked up structure of my anime watching now. I have a long-term one, which is like your huge ones, which is right now Naruto, and we'll touch on
Naruto
that.
for him, One Piece for me.
Okay, and then I have, since I work from home 3 days a week, I throw on an anime while I work from home so I can enjoy some anime while I'm slaving away at my day job. That's right now Skate the Infinity, which I've only watched episode 1, but what a great change of pace for me with all these shonens and isekais and whatever. What a great change of pace. What a beautifully aesthetic anime. I recommend anyone just watch the first episode and then tell me what not. I'm gonna watch more of it this week and I'll formulate a deeper opinion on it. And then I have an anime that I watched with him, which was Jujutsu Kaisen,
Right?
And which I think I think the next one. Black Clover.
Yes, Black Clover is the next one, which technically puts you at 2 very long animes at the same time, but you are getting further along and closer to the end of Naruto Shippuden finally. Oh, I'm so excited. Your Naruto journey has...
You wanna just let's get it out. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. My Naruto journey has been emotional. Shit.
Please, yeah.
First of all, I will put the blanket statement out. Anyone who needs to hear this, I was one of those who said I would never watch Naruto, ever. I was a hipster about it. I said I'm not watching the filler. I have eaten I put those words on the grill, marinated them, flipped them over, cooked them thoroughly, put it on a plate, and eaten them. I'm obsessed.
Yep.
My Amazon cart has 2 different Naruto mouse pads for my gaming setup. I just ordered for no reason other than the fact that Instagram decided to put it on my telephone, a set of Akatsuki sweatshorts and a T-shirt of Itachi. I'm talking to my brother about getting a Sharingan tattoo. Mm-hmm. I am absolutely obsessed.
And
first of all,
Naruto, months ago,
the original Naruto took me
a week and a half.
A week and a half to crush.
Mm-hmm.
A week and a half.
Yep. 3 months ago, you were like, I'm never watching Naruto. I said, just do it. Just do it.
I cried multiple times during this anime.
And we are only
170 episodes into Shippuden.
And yeah, and for those of you who have seen it before, we are just getting toward the end of the Pain arc and about 20 episodes-ish from the 4th Ninja War arc. For those who haven't seen it, go see it. If you have the time on your hands.
I have finally known true pain. I hate you.
No, you don't.
I hate you,
No, you don't.
actually.
I just find it so enjoyable and exciting that you're enjoying it as much as you are, but also seeing those moments. I'm rewatching it right now, so I know what's coming. I know what's about to happen, and to see you as a first-time watcher have it hit you the way that it hit me the first time I watched it that's what I enjoy about it.
I hate it.
There are some times where I'll be like, hey, Mike, what episode are you on? Oh, 132. Okay, when you get to like 138, let me know, and then just wait. I want to watch with you for like 10 episodes. Because I know what's coming. I want to see him react to it. That's the best.
My Naruto journey has made me contemplate go back to therapy. I said it about Attack on Titan. I said it about My Hero. And they obviously Naruto came before each of them. So I am so emotionally invested in all of these characters. Deeply, lovingly, except Sakura, invested into all of these emotional characters. Emotionally invested into all these characters. Mm-hmm. It's from someone who turned around and said, "I'm never gonna watch it." I'm happily stating how fucking wrong I was about it, and I'm excited. I'm excited and scared to how the 4th Ninja War is going to pan out. And obviously there are some things that I haven't been able to avoid spoilers from. They're just honestly minor things, but Naruto's been around long enough for me to be like,
right.
I can't really get mad at it.
For any of any of those of you, wow, for those of you who are watching right now and anybody who has seen Naruto, throw in the comments just an episode that you'd be excited to see Mike's reaction to. Yeah, I'll take a look at the comments, and when we get to that point, I'll make sure we get something up for TikTok or for maybe a highlight video of like the fourth grade ninja war of Mike's reactions to it and things like that. So if you see anything, throw the episode number down in the comments, and I'll make sure I get some reactions.
Okay, all right, okay. Community engagement. My Naruto journey. I'm gonna say this, that I'm happy that I'm wrong about. I'll say it again. I'm happy I'm wrong about Naruto. I'm happy that I'm experiencing it, and I can't wait to rewatch it over and over and over and over. I'm probably going to, and I'm probably gonna pick
Just
up
like
on
your brother.
yeah, but I'm going to actually watch other anime.
Well,
Yeah.
Fair. Do that, AJ.
I think I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take that specific clip.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna put that on TikTok and tag him.
Yeah.
And see what he's got to say.
Speaking of, you mentioned it briefly. I think that's enough for your Naruto journey. I don't want you to tear up and get all emotional.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, it's okay. But you mentioned it before. My Hero season 5 is going on right now. We obviously, like we had mentioned earlier in the podcast, we took on a little vacation, so we caught up also on the last couple of episodes of My Hero and the Class 1A, 1B
training
arcs. And we just got to
we
watched 2 and 3, I believe, right?
Yes, we watched match 2 and match 3 of Class 1A, Class 1B. We just obviously the latest episode was yesterday, and we have seen the emergence of not only Tenniida, but
Shoto.
I want you to know. I want everyone to know that I love doing that every possible chance I get.
It's constant. I'll be working in the middle of the day, and I'll randomly just hear it, and I just God.
Anyway, we finished Class 1A. We finished Todoroki's team versus who I like to call Metal Kirishima. In Super Smash Bros. You get Metal Mario and shit. Mm-hmm. You get Metal Kirishima. It's Tetsu's team.
Mm-hmm. They were cool.
I liked all. You had Mudman.
Yeah. Well, it's not Horn Girl, but
no, it was not Horn. I forget Class 1. Class 1B's kind of forgettable, but now they're not.
Yeah,
they were forgettable. Now they have me being like, oh,
another 30 people.
Who are these people? Yeah, who are these people? Obviously, they're probably.
Don't get me wrong. I like My Hero, but there's so many characters. There's so many. And it's one of my least favorite parts of the show is trying to remember everyone and what their quirk is and what their.
This is where this podcast this episode might take a little long, because you and I are going to actually sit down and have ourselves a debate, because you are honestly right now not a fan of what's going on in season 5.
No.
Explain why.
It really comes down to the way that the first, I'll say 3.5, even toward the end of the 4th season, but for the most part, the first 3.5 seasons, it was Class 1A, which, okay, I can take. I get that. And
you had your
but you had your MC. You had Deku and All Might, and their relationship, and how the one all for one, no, one for all.
That's
yeah, and the way that this whole buildup of this MC with your side characters, the whole class. I get that. I've watched Assassination Classroom. I've watched other types of animes with these larger scale characters, or not scale, but larger cast of characters, and that's fine. But you still had your mains, and right now with the inclusion of Class 1B as well, it's just there's so much. There's so many. I don't remember names. I don't remember powers. I don't remember, their superhero names, which is cool. They have their name and then their superhero name and then their quirk, and then it's like all these other things. The only thing I am enjoying about this is it's showing what the internships and their work studies may have taught them, which they've done little backstory instances in each episode for each character, kind of like a Tokiyami with Hawks. That was cool, seeing how Tokiyami grew and learned this new power because of the work study with Hawks, or the internship, whichever it was, and how he learned how to use his power more. That was cool. But I have no idea what's going on half the time. It's this training arc, but it's going to be a full season. It's going to be a full season or it's going to be a full half season. We're 3 battles in after 6 episodes, which means you have 2 more, and you know that Bakugo's team's up next for battle number 4. You know that's not going to be 1 episode most likely, unless Bakugo just goes in and destroys everyone, which I don't see happening.
Which is not going to happen because you want to reflect Jiro
right.
and
so that's going to be at least 2 more episodes in my opinion. Then you throw Deku's battle finally with Shinzo. With Shinzo on the other team now, so that's probably going to be at least 2 episodes, if not a third, or at least the repercussions of it being a 3rd episode. So you're talking about 5 more episodes before we even get into anything outside of this training.
I think there's a reasoning for it, and I think there's a reasoning for this in general, because I think that there's going to be deeper things going on in the back. Season 5 kicked off strong.
Loved
insanely strong. They kicked off with the aftermath of the Endeavor versus Nomu fight. You found all this backstory about Hawks. You have these questions now with Hawks and Dabi, which I don't want to call him Dabi, but I know his name is Dabi. I want to call him Dabby because I don't want to correlate Harry Potter, because I've almost caught myself saying Dabi and said, Dobby's a free elf.
Oh, God. As long as they both have the same outcome at the end, I'm fine with it.
Moving on.
Sorry.
I'm in disagreement with him, only because I don't know. Because I haven't read the manga. I think that there's going to be deeper reasoning behind us being reintroduced not only to Class 1A, but we're also getting a further introduction into Class 1B. I think that there's going to be a culmination. I think this is just my opinion. This is just my take. I think I think All For One is going to somehow be broken out of prison. I almost call him Shikamaru. I have all my animes confused. Oh my God.
You're blanking?
I'm blanking.
This guy.
Oh my God.
Don't worry, you got it. Because we literally called someone else his name in a different anime.
I call him in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Oh my God, help. Shigaraki! Thank you! Jesus Christ! Please forgive me in the comments section. God, Jesus, Mother Mary and God. Okay, anyway, back to it. I think that there's going to be a deeper meaning toward all this. I think that there's going to eventually probably be a team up. Now with all of this enormous cast of characters.
You almost feel like...
I almost feel like that the
main ones from 1B.
Yeah, you're going to have Kendo. You're going to have Tetsu. Shinzo obviously is getting inserted.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
I wonder which class he's going to end up in. He's trying to get into the hero program, so you figure it's one of these 2 classes if they're...
I think he's going to end up in 1A because Aizawa has taken him under the wing and he's got the Aizawa band.
So question, do they just add another one, or do they lose someone along the way?
I don't know.
Because if you look at it right now,
it's evenly matched without Shinzo.
There are 20 students in each class, and there always have been 20 students. That's how they do things. Does someone...
Either someone's removed or...
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's a very good question, and I guess that's up for interpretation. But anyway, moving forward.
Hopefully it's Mineta. Anyway.
I hope it Can't Stop Twinkling. At least Mineta is there for comedic relief.
But he sparkles and shines, and him and Deku have a good relationship.
Whatever. Yeah, Deku's got a good relationship with everyone. Speaking of Deku, there's still the unanswered questions of the vestiges of One for All. He's gotten All Might involved. that they're having these discussions. I'm assuming the battle with Shinzo is going to
reinvigorate or whatever.
Reinvigorate his encounter with Deku, where he saw the vestiges originally at the sports festival.
Yes.
But again, I understand your frustration with how season 5 is pacing, but I feel like there's going to be a deeper
If
meaning.
it ties in at one point where it's like, something happens and they reference back to one of the battles, fine.
There's also so many like mini branches of that's going on. You got Endeavor and Todoroki. Endeavor trying to mend his relationship with Todoroki. On that side of the coin, Todoroki also doing his best to now develop his flame quirk along with his ice. We saw that spirit bomb of fire formulate in his hand. I was like, yo, is he about to nuke this place?
Yeah. Reason number 742 why I was up at the season. They've stopped 3 or 4 different really powerful moves from happening. Like, just let it happen.
I mean, he exhausted himself during the battle, during his training with Tetsu. But you have Tenya trying to become the successor to his older brother, taking up his mantle.
You have the Kendo.
It's Kendo.
Kendo and
Yaoyorozu.
They're friendly back and forth. Of you're more powerful than me, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to still try my best. You have the Tokuyami, and
you have all of these little things.
I like the back and forth. I don't get me wrong. I like the little back and forth little duels in the middle of like contrasting.
Well,
characters.
not just that. You have all that development going on in the background along with this. I think the training arc is just kind of like your blanket statement, your blanket thing going on, but underneath all it's the training arc is your tip of the iceberg. Underneath all of that is all this substance that's going on in the background.
Obviously, from someone who, neither of us have read the manga, however you pronounce it, is what it is.
I've heard there's some fucking deep shit about to go down.
What I really want to, I might look it up because we're past that at this point. But how many chapters was this training arc in the manga? Are they extending it longer in the anime or dragging it out in the anime, or is this how long it actually was? Was it 3,
I can only assume
5 chapters, 6 chapters? How many chapters was it for them to have?
Well, in pattern with most manga anime adaptations, the manga is usually longer. So you I don't know, maybe
each episode is usually 2 chapters ish on average.
So you have to think.
So that's what I'm saying. Like we've already gone. Are you telling me that this is almost a full volume? Is just the training arc? It just seems crazy. Like it just seems crazy. Like with everything that happened toward the end of season 3 and all this build up, how are you just gonna
season 4? You mean?
Yeah, in season 4. Sorry, season 4. All this like build up to like the Nomus, the All Might, Endeavor being trying to live up to being the number 1 hero, and
the relationship with his kids.
Yeah, all these like big things that have been going on with All for One, and all of those different fights. Class 1A has been getting field experience while Class 1B has been in the classroom. Like they really haven't been out on these like big.
I feel like My Hero. I'm gonna use a weird analogy. I feel like My Hero is gonna be that instance where you drop that Mentos in a Diet Coke. The training arc is gonna be is us taking the Mentos out of the pack and putting it in the Coke, and then all of a sudden, at the back end of this season, it's just gonna explode, and all of this shit's gonna come either tie up or fucking blast in our mouths.
You had all of those really great. I feel like this is almost one of the problem is because of how much went on in season 4 in general on the outside, the big picture, the whole world of this anime. This almost feels like a filler arc to me. Unless they tie it in some way, how is it all of a sudden they can just we're just gonna go have these training battles after everything that just happened? Like I understand the need for training, it just seems so out of place. So
I think by the time we get to the Deku fight,
we'll see something.
I think by the time we're going to get to the Deku fight, I think the Bakugo, because we started to see it a little bit more with the last 2 episodes with the Todoroki Tetsu fight.
Yeah.
That they started talking about other stuff. You saw Endeavor. You saw we haven't seen anything from the League of Villains yet. We haven't seen anything from Shigaraki or Dabi or any of the League of Villains, but you started to see that they're all right. We had these battles 1 and 2 were just kind of like, all right, here they are, whatever. Battle 3 came around and was like, okay, there's some other stuff going on. Battle 4, we're going to see probably that they're going to go a little deeper into it, and what's going on in the background. Also, Bakugo blow shit up,
right?
Which is probably what's going to happen. And then by the time Deku showed, I think by the time we get to Deku, I think the Deku fight's not going to happen. Here's my hot take. Oh, I guess you call it. Here's my theory.
It's not a hot take.
Here's my theory. Here's my theory. The Deku fight's not going to happen. Something's going to happen outside where they're going to be needed.
That's going to be awful.
Why?
Because what you just said less than 5 minutes ago, the Deku fight is supposed to have him re-encounter the vestiges.
I never said supposed to.
No, but it would make sense.
It would make a little bit of sense.
If that's the case, it would make all of this worth it. If all of a sudden something else happens and Deku doesn't even fight, or nothing happens on the outside storyline of it, and all of a sudden they just have to go fight somewhere else, what was the point of the first 4 battles? Why couldn't that be one episode then, where you kind of just like skim through? Oh, these people are battling. Deku's turn. This happens instead. Get out of this area. You know what I'm saying?
You want the other characters to shine, because it's not like these are just bullshit side characters.
No, I get it. And
all of these characters have some sort of substance. They're all involved in some of this, especially the 1A3, Bakugo, Deku, and Todoroki.
Right. But with everyone having their little moments, which makes sense completely for it. Again, maybe it's just me being upset at how many characters there actually are.
You also have ADD. You can't focus on one thing.
No, that's not the point. True, but not the point. It's they've highlighted these 3 to 5 main characters, and everyone else can be background. It happens in a lot of different classroom type animes. You have your 3 to 5 mains, and then everyone else is there, but they're just there. They have their moments or whatever. But if you've already highlighted Deku, Bakugo, Shoto, maybe Uraraka because of a potential whatever, or the way that she feels about Deku, and then
you throw Kirishima in there.
And Kirishima, yes, but also
I love Kirishima.
No, I enjoy Kirishima too, but Kirishima is basically a non-fire type Bakugo.
Bakugo's not a fire type either. He's an explosion type.
Right. Cool.
He's a rock type.
In my opinion, everyone in Class 1A, 75% of Class 1A could be the MC in this.
Agreed.
Show. 75, which is great, but they're not giving enough time. I guess because of the way that some of the other animes I've seen where the pacing something just feels off about it. Something just feels off, and I don't want to say it's one specific thing, because it's not one specific thing, but I really, really enjoy Shoto's backstory and his storyline. I would love to see more of it. Tenya Ida's backstory and storyline and family and all that. I would love to see more of it, but we get these hints of it, and then it's like, all right, back to this. Hints of Tokiyami, back to this. Hints of Kirishima, back to this. And it's like, give me more or don't give it to me at all. That's my frustration.
To each their own about My Hero Academia. Let us know, obviously, your opinion.
Still gonna keep watching it. I enjoy it, but it's all over the place for me.
Obviously, let us know your opinion in the comment section. Go, where do you stand so far with My Hero Season 5? Manga people! Any of you manga people! Don't obviously spoil us, but let us know what the fuck we're in for. Because he needs more convincing than I do. I'm invested in My Hero. I'm invested in these characters. I love these characters. I think it's a great show. I don't really have an anime that I've really talked bad about.
Yeah. And I think this is the worst I've ever spoken of an anime, and in my opinion, it's not even that bad. I'd still probably give it a 6.5 to a 7 right now.
Just the season, right? Not the show?
Season, no, not the show. This season. The show overall is probably like an 8 for me.
Okay, fair. Manga people. Just give me a hint. How we doing?
Speaking of hints.
Oh, no. Oh, crap.
These are not confirmed. My sources are not 100% reliable, but we saw
Our source, bro, trust me.
Yeah. But we saw it, and I had to touch on it because it has to do with Attack on Titan.
This is how we started the podcast in general. And it's... What is episode 4 or episode 5 of Nerd Jam?
4.
Damn, it would have been really funny if every 5 episodes were Attack on Titan based. I digress.
Every 4, there's only 4 seasons.
True.
But there was a leak-ish, maybe. Hypothetically, possibly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That there were hidden pages?
No. Additional pages.
Additional pages that were leaked. Additional pages to the manga. Now, as you may have mentioned in episode 1 of Nerd Jam, I went and read the manga because...
And so did I.
I read it after the first half of season 4 ended. I didn't want spoilers on anything until the anime was done itself. Obviously, I knew there was going to be a part 2, but I read the manga, so I didn't get spoilers on part 2. So, I'll read it, I'll get through it and all that. Now, apparently, was it 8 pages?
8
new pages, apparently, which, looking at what was being leaked, I don't completely trust it, but also, I guess it might make...
Oh, I do. I do.
But whether it's true or not, what is being put out there, if it does end up being the case that these 8 pages are real, I think it will help the people that struggled so much to enjoy and like the 4th season and the end of it. I think this will help wrap certain things up. Why not?
Nope.
It gives closure.
Nope.
You'd rather just the bird. That's good enough for you. This doesn't give you closure at all. Like, are you kidding me?
Okay, really quick before we touch on it,
we have never spoken about this yet. We literally saw this.
These 8 pages are said to be released in volume 34, which is going to include chapters 134 to chapters 139. The Attack on Titan manga officially ended in chapter 139. We discussed it. Episode 1, please go back to it if you want to listen to our discussion about it. This is once again your official Nerd Jam podcast. Spoiler warning, brought to you by Bakugo calling you a nerd. There's no fucking way you think this gives anybody closure.
I don't even know what it is. We saw 3 different panels. That's it. We saw 3 panels in this leak.
I don't think there's anything that can be put out there. Well, first of all, we've only seen 3 panels of alleged 8 pages.
Right.
First of all, if this is what we're going to be given, these are pieces of what we're going to be given, I don't trust it. This is not going to give anybody any kind of closure. That's first off. Second off, I don't trust this leak whatsoever, but I feel like it needed to be touched on because...
You just said you did believe it. Or you just don't trust the leak itself.
I don't trust the leak.
That there are more pages.
I believe that there are more pages.
Okay.
I believe that there are more pages. I don't trust this leak. I don't trust the leak.
Interesting. Okay.
I think that this is what we've been waiting for. I think this is what Attack on Titan fans have been waiting for. Everyone has theorized that, oh my god, there's still more. We're going to get 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 more.
What, Junior High wasn't enough?
No, the live action movie was enough. 2 movies.
Yep.
2 movies. Yeah. I don't trust what this leak is. I don't trust that's it. I don't trust the substance of the leak. I trust that there, quite possibly, maybe so and so allegedly, there's going to be additional pages in the volume, and I would hope so. But I don't trust. I don't trust the substance, and I don't trust that any Attack on Titan fan is going to be pleased with seeing some of this. Actually, you know what? Like every Attack on Titan fan, I'll retract that statement. I'll say that it's just going to be split. It's going to be completely split. And I said I was okay with the ending of 139 of the manga of Attack on Titan. I will not enjoy all this. I will not enjoy what has been given, even though it confirms half of my theories. I just didn't want it. You know what? I kind of wanted it to be left to
interpretation.
My own interpretation. Exactly. You know what? Exactly.
Okay. I mean, we saw 3 panels and one of them was blurry. Like I said, I don't With it coming out as prevalent as it has, with what's being said, I agree with you. There probably are some extra pages in there somewhere. I don't know if I trust the panels themselves that we saw.
By the way, really quick note. I will be leaving this link, the link to the Reddit thread for these alleged leaks. I will leave that in the description for you guys to consume yourselves. I do not want to show it.
I don't want to touch on it. I obviously wanted to touch on it, but I don't want to show it. I don't want to spoil any potential. If you want to take a look at it yourself, we'll put the link down.
Your interpretation, your opinion, formulate it yourself. Let us know what you think. And let that Reddit thread know that Nerd Jam sent you.
Yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to touch on for Attack on Titan. I didn't want to get too much into it, but the fact that it was there...
We will touch on it when we will touch on it when the volume gets released.
June, right?
June 2021.
Yeah.
Obviously, next month.
Next month is the full volume getting released, and see what happens, see what comes out.
I will make an entire fucking episode, and I will rant until my face turns blue about it. Because if this shit's confirmed, I'm pissed.
You'd be pissed anyway.
No.
You know
Maybe. Attack AOT's got me all kinds of fucked up, and it has. I'm still not ready for the anime.
Second half, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited, not ready, but excited to see what it turns out to be.
Get excited. Speaking of which, Rich, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
What animes are you looking forward to most watching that we either need to catch up on or that have been released and we haven't gotten the time to it yet, or we've just been consumed by the thing? Rich, let's ask a good question. What animes are you most looking forward to?
Okay, you're gonna give me a second then. I gotta look at my list. If y'all didn't know, I'm on my 27th anime right now, I believe, and it is One Piece, so I would be further along, but I decided to pick up One Piece to slow myself down.
He was watching an anime a day.
And there are currently 31 animes on my to-watch list, not including ones that I've already started that may have a new season.
So that would put you in the 50s.
That would put me in the 50s of different animes, not just different seasons.
Okay.
I'm really excited. I mean, because you mentioned it, I have to point it out. Dr. Stone, season 2.
Incredibly pumped for it. We haven't watched a single episode of season 2.
I wanted to be able to binge that.
Yeah, that's a binge.
I don't remember what they called the arc. The Stone Wars arc.
Yes.
Yeah, Stone Wars. I'm really excited to binge that. I'm excited for to catch up on season 2 of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime after part 2 comes out. 7 Deadly Sins new season is out.
I have to rewatch that. I have to rewatch 7 Deadly Sins because I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. I don't. I'm confused.
That new season, I believe, is being released right now. I think it was a spring release. So
I'm fucking confused.
That's coming out. What else we got here? What are your thoughts on the SAO spin? You've heard about Sword Art?
Mm-mm.
So they are coming out with a Sword Art Online from Asuna's point of view for the levels that they had skipped in the original SAO. I believe.
Interesting.
Did you know about this?
No, I did not know about this.
This came out a month and a half, 2 months
I
ago.
did not know about this. Mm-hmm. By the way, excuse my folded laundry in the background. I was having a nice productive Sunday, and then I turned around and stopped being productive.
This is productive.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting.
I don't really mind whose point of view it's from. I want to see the lost levels. I want to see the levels that they had skipped in the original, like that. And I'm someone who enjoyed SAO throughout. I know there's a lot of people who were like, screw the second season.
That's a hot take.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the brief pause.
You enjoyed Gun Gale Online?
I did, actually.
Gun! Death gun!
And this is my gun, Death. I am Death Gun.
No. I am Death Gun. This is my gun, Death Gun.
Listen,
I think that was the point where I said, I'm done. I'm out.
taking all of that out of it for a brief second, I thought it was a cool concept to take the idea of SAO and make it more of
a looter shooter.
Not just a looter shooter. It was the idea. My thought process was what it could be in real life, which we don't have to get into those. Those apparently are being developed, and I've seen a few different.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Legitimately, but the idea of being able to go into a game and earn real money. That's what Death Gale, it was.
Yes, I know what Gun Gale Online was.
Whether it was gambling or fighting for, in battle royals. I thought it was a cool concept. It was a little bit off from the normal SAO, but that wasn't even, technically Gun Gale Online wasn't the seasons that everyone talks about hating. They're talking about season 2 before Alicization.
Mm-hmm.
Alicization I thought was amazing. But I enjoyed it throughout.
I think I have to rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot. Honestly, I don't have a lot of animes on my list to watch. I just kind of like go with it.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm picking an anime to watch, I'm just like that one. I'm setting myself up.
See, my entire list has come off of my TikToks recommendations, or now that you and I both made a list last week on your stream.
Barely done. It's not even close to done.
I added all of mine.
No.
So I'm starting to get emails for recommended animes on my from my anime list because based on what I watched and how I rated them and things. So I mean, honestly, all One Piece is doing is giving me a big list so that I don't run out of anime before I can find more to watch. So
fair. Very fair.
Mm-hmm. So let's take a quick little spin off here.
Speaking of battle royals,
yeah, basically, and getting off of the topic of anime for the final part of our Nerd Jam podcast potentially. Apex Legends by Respawn. Arenas has been released. I really enjoyed it.
We discussed it last episode.
Mm-hmm. We finally got a little bit of a taste of it and how things are going. I thought I'm enjoying it. I think once the ranks come out, I hope
it's gonna be something you and I hit up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap!
And I kind of wanted to just point out also a little bit on Respawn's end and how great they've done. In terms of being vocal, because I mean, in any game right now, there's cheaters everywhere. Just point it out. It's still happening in Apex. It's happening in Call of Duty. It's happening in Destiny. It's there. Okay.
Talk about it.
Respawn came out with an article, and a couple of the devs, I believe, tweeted about it, that they are keeping an eye. There is a specific glitch right now, or there was, I don't know if they fixed it yet, in arenas that you can hide in a rock, basically. And when
you can cosplay Patrick Star.
But when you're in the rock, you can see out of it, so you can basically sneak up on people without them knowing on a specific map in arenas. And they've openly said if you were caught doing it deliberately, like on purpose and not just accidentally going in there, and using it to your advantage, it's bannable. And I thought that was.
I mean, hey, it's top-notch communication by the developers, saying, "Hey, this is going on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it by accident, cool, whatever. We're gonna patch it. But if you're using it for your advantage, just we're letting y'all know you will be banned.
Yeah.
GG. Bye. Apex, Apex Arenas. If properly maintained, will take over esports.
I disagree. I think it'll become a part of it, but I don't think it'll take over.
See what when you think of esports right now, in the state of top tier, best of the best, competitive gaming.
Mm-hmm.
First game off, you had 1, 2, 3, go.
League of Legends. Worldwide or NA?
I was gonna say like in the shooter
In
category.
the shooter category, you have you have CS:GO and Valorant most likely.
Okay, well think of and yeah, those are niche crowds. Those are very niche crowds, like people who love tactical shooters. And yeah, there's some.
Hundreds of thousands of people.
Okay, but now you combine the tactical play of you actually have to play your life.
I mean, if you want to talk competitive, we're waiting on Infinite to come out to see what arena shooter Halo comes up with.
But that's an arena shooter. We're talking. This is technically tac.
This is combining tac and arena.
Yeah,
It's what they're doing. It's different. I think there's still a lot of optimization to be done after playing the arenas the amount that we have, which isn't the most, but it's enough to get a little opinion on it. I think the rounds are too fast in terms of how they work. Now, I'm not someone who's going to say I know how to fix it or what to do.
I think higher level the rounds will be slower. I think
they do play slower in the higher.
We watched Well, I don't know about you. I watched Lulu Lovely's Arenas tournament, and our round when we would play rounds would go like.
It was just full send.
30 seconds.
It was full send at a team.
Their pro rounds were going like a minute and a half.
And I enjoy watching Apex BR, the GLL, whatever I think it's called, because I like watching that high intensity, stressful end game where there's a ton of teams and the circle's closing in on you and you need to make split second decisions. And,
yeah, but now take that and now it's just that's the game mode. Right. That's the actual game mode.
There's definitely some optimization to be done in terms of cost and how much things are worth, and there's going to be a lot of different strategies because of agent selection, legend selection, and then on top of that you have gun selection too, where there's so many different types of guns. Are you gonna, do you have your sniper on the team that is gonna sit back and, get your damage in to waste the other team's heals while your other two flank in with, depending on what legend they have, they can, there are so many different things that we don't even know yet about the arenas. So I agree. I think it has the potential to become a staple in the esports area, or
yeah, I know the point.
But I don't see it taking over.
I think it's going to take over for a little bit. I think once they set.
I think you're missing the big picture of esports and then globally. That's where I don't think it's going to take over, because I mean, we don't even talk about it, but Rocket League is one of the top esports in the world.
Very true.
We don't even talk about it. Rocket League is top 3 esports in the world, with League of Legends being one of them also. And CSGO is still bigger than Valorant. Valorant is trying. Riot is doing a great job, in my opinion. Masters is next weekend. Masters 2 is next weekend in Iceland. I'm excited to watch it. And I don't even play Valorant anymore, and I'm excited to watch it. They've done a great job, in my opinion, on production, on hyping the teams up, the way the bracket's working to try and crown that first global champion. They're giving all these regions a really great opportunity to show what they've got, because I mean, for the most part, you have 3 regions that anyone ever talks about, depending on the game. When it comes to
NAU and Korea
doesn't get talked about in the shooting aspect of it, but yes, League of Legends and those other ones, Korea's always been a big one. But you have Oceania, you have Brazil, you have
there's a lot of opportunity that
to see this talent from everywhere, and I think that's awesome, and I'm excited to see it culminate at the end of this year. And I don't even think Valorant's taking over the esports world, and they're doing what they're doing. It's definitely going to be a staple toward the top, but
I think it'll make plenty of noise with how popular Apex in general is.
I think it all depends on Respawn.
Yeah,
you see how Riot's doing with Valorant and how they've done with League of Legends being a staple for the last 10 years. It really depends on Respawn. If they want to do more with it, if they want to invest in it. So it has potential. I get it. It has potential, but I don't see it being number 1 or anything like that.
Okay. I mean, fair. Well,
any final thoughts?
I will now know true pain. Well, I think today was. I think this episode was beefy enough. I think we touched on a lot of good things in the anime world. As always, everyone, let us know in the comment section down below if you want to hear anything specific from us, or if you want us to touch on certain subjects or certain topics that are going on in your nerd life. There ain't no topic that we won't shy away from in the nerd world.
If we have to do a little research, we'll do a little research. If it means watching a new anime, hey, we'll watch a new anime. Probably should have mentioned this at the beginning, but we'll either edit it or we'll just get used to doing it next episodes. But we'll start timestamping.
They're already timestamped.
All right, but mentioning it at the beginning of the episode as opposed to
true.
True.
Very true.
Hey, thanks for watching an hour and 20 minutes. By the way, we're going to timestamp, so if you don't want to watch something, go back and don't watch it.
Very true, very true. Any truers in the comments section and in chat.
Like we did mention at the beginning, I believe this is episode 4. So we're still working out some kinks, working out some production value and details.
Yeah, maybe
we're trying something new here.
Maybe I won't have my folded laundry in the background.
We're trying something new here. We might move it to a different area next week. Maybe because to be honest, we'll talk about it afterwards. Move the camera and get something set up out there or something. Just shooting different ideas out there. If you guys have any ideas that you might want to see in the background or post-production type stuff, let us know and we'll see what we can work on.
Gigantic picture of Rhys Grimmer's boobs right there.
Why is it always Rhys with you?
What do you mean?
Why is it always Rhys with you?
I love Rhys, man. That's the thing. I need me a Rhys Grimmer. I need me a Rhys Grimmer.
And on that note,
thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Nerd Jam Podcast. As always, do the YouTube thing for us. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all the notifications for when you want to be caught up in the latest Nerd Jam stuff. Follow your boy on Twitter, at Dibs Gaming, DIPSGMING. The most glorious content creator on every platform. You can follow Rich on Twitter at
Ascended Tier, ASCENDEDTYR.
He doesn't tweet, but
I don't tweet much. I do a lot of retweets.
He just shit posts me.
I reply if anybody tweets at me and stuff like that. So if you have any questions, if you want to tweet at either of us any questions for the podcast as well, in case we don't see the comment in YouTube or we miss it, if you're doing it late and we already recorded. Whenever you want to message us on Twitter, we always have our phones on us, and we'll always...
Links to the socials are always going to be in the description down below, alongside the Reddit thread for the Attack on Titan leaks. And with that, we're going to get the hell up out of here, and I'm going to go stare at Rhys Grimmer's boobs. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of the Nerd Jam Podcast. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and above all else, catch you guys next time.